Alright, today I'm going to be reacting to Post by Björk by Björk. This came out in 1995. I have heard a couple of Björk albums at this point. I've heard Vespertine, I've heard Homogenic, I've heard Debut as well. I believe this came out 2 years after Debut, I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to try and keep that in mind. Yeah, there's not much else to say. Go join the Patreon if you want. There is an uncut version of this reaction on there. Link in the description, go join that down below. And yeah, let's get into it. The first track is Army of Me. I feel like this is pretty like industrial for Björk. I feel like my initial reaction or initial thoughts is to say that that's something super different for Björk, but I feel like it kind of just falls in line with the energy of everything else that I've heard of her from her. Not in the way that it's the exact same genre that she's done in the past, but it just, I don't know, it kind of makes sense, that type of style coming from Björk. Obviously, it's a lot more darker. It's got this kind of industrial kind of aesthetic to it. I don't know why, but these lyrics were just, maybe it's just because I did my monthly recap and I talked about the Melody Martinez album in that video, but these lyrics just kind of remind me of stan culture for some reason. If you complain once more, you'll meet an army of me. I don't think it obviously is about that, it just kind of reminded me of that in a weird way. Lyrically, the song was inspired by the damaging behavior of her brother, whom she tells to stand up and to regain control of his life. Oh, now we won't save you. Okay, so it's this kind of on the brink of cutting ties with this person, but really wanting them to kind of better themselves and get help. There's real, like, urgency to this album so far. A lot of the electronics and synths are very quick. Oh, the title of the track makes sense now. Hyperballad. Again, bringing in that urgency, that quick, almost like panicked mood. It's like a dark, angsty ballad. A dark, angsty love song in a way. Alright, like I said, title makes sense, hyperballad, it's got this urgency to it, it's got this quickness and this angst and this panic to it, but at the end of the day, it does feel like kind of just a ballad, kind of a love song in a strange, weird way. Also, it also feels a little bit skeptical at the same time, though, because she's throwing these things off, which could be a metaphor for the more negative aspects of herself. Maybe this is her shedding those things, getting rid of those things before this person sees her, so she's not showing her her full true self to this person, you know? Yeah, let's keep it going. I mean, the production, it's leaning a little bit more towards Debut with the kind of housey dance kind of production, which I don't love as much. I definitely do prefer the kind of otherworldly and very ethereal and kind of sporadic and spacey production of Vespertine and even Homogenic at points.
They've just been waiting and listening to the irritating noises. Ancient shadow. Mutton sings have always existed.
This is definitely my favorite sonically. I think the lyrics are a little half-baked, but I'll get into that after. Okay, I think the premise for that track is a lot better than the actual the actual execution of it. I think sonically it's my favorite. It's a little bit more towards that, leans a little bit more towards that Vespertine kind of vibe. I think the lyrics are just a little half-baked. Like the thought is cool. All the modern things have always existed. They've just been waiting in a mountain. Like these are thoughts I've had before, but like I feel like it's not really dug into that deeply. It's not really expanded upon, which might be the appeal. I get that it's just kind of painting this vibe and just placing this idea out there, but I would like to see it be just like explored a little bit further. And I think it is cool how she does sing in Icelandic, and switching between that and English also kind of illustrates the evolution of being born knowing a certain language and then learning one as you grow up, obviously. Let's keep going. It's Oh So Quiet. I think this was in a Brad Taste in Music video, right? Maybe. It's such a vibe switch up. Such a drastic change from the last track. Oh, this is a great like portrayal of love. Like the highs and the lows. It's sick. Like this is straight out of a musical. It's gotta be. This is the second album in a row where we've had a waltz. What the heck? I just did a Sheena Ringo album. Such a simple idea for a song, but it's executed so well. Oh, favorite track easily so far. Like I said, it's a very simple idea. It's the highs and lows. It's the loud and the quiet, the excited and the mellow of love, I guess. It's just done so well. The vocal performance is just captivating. The instrumentation obviously is excellent. It sounds like something straight out of a musical, which could be a bad thing, but I think it's really done well here. I think this is like honestly like the polar opposite of the last track. Like the idea itself wouldn't seem that interesting, but the execution is great. The last track, the idea was cool, but the execution wasn't really there. So, and this is like the first track again. It almost has a funk feel to it. Not funk, funk. What? Bro, that's so unsettling. I love it. It's kind of a animalistic nature to this track. I'm only in this to enjoy. Great track. Great track. I love the animalistic feel to that track. I think it's really intriguing, and the instrumental really matches it well. It feels like kind of chasing after something. It feels like, I mean, it says it right here, I'm only in this to enjoy. At that very base level, that very like animalistic level of pleasure, I guess. Interesting track. So from her point of view, she's been flirting. This album is like toxic. She displays herself as this like toxic person, but somehow it comes across as kind of likable. I'm a little bit lost with this track, if I'm being honest. I don't know what that sound I just made was. That track lost me a little bit. I guess the how Genius describes the story makes sense, but I don't know. Just in the flow and track list of the album, it feels a little bit out of place. I also didn't love the aesthetic of that track. I mean, she's done stuff like that before where it's very cinematic. It kind of is attempting to place you in this other world. I feel like that track just gave me like Temple Run vibes in a weird way. So I didn't love it. It felt, not cheap isn't the right word, but it just felt a little bit misguided, maybe is the right word. I feel like that one could grow on me on future listens. I'm a little bit torn on it. Bro, I got allergies right now. My eyes are like killing me. They're so stuffy and I'm just dying. Feel bad for me, guys. Feel bad for me. Ooh. Kind of horror-esque strings. Oh my, yo. Oh. Oh. The space. Oh. This is so good. I love the simple groove to this. There's something about it that's just so satisfying. Oh, so good. That was amazing. Easily my favorite instrumental. Very interesting lyrics. A very simple groove that is really easy to follow along with, but also really enveloping because of the subtle reverb of the entire mix. It's just, I was just getting lost in it. Uncertainty excites me, so this seems like more of a kind of reflective look on this relationship. Earlier it was painted in this kind of almost glorifying the maybe toxicity of it or the kind of unexpected nature of it. But here it seems like a lot more of a somber take on it and the kind of negative effects of it. It just seems like she's just kind of burned out and just tired and just reflecting. Bro, my eyes. Oh, they hurt so bad.
I miss you, but I haven't met you yet.
I don't love the mix on this one. I feel like the drums are a bit loud. It's suffocating.
I miss you.
The horns. I love how those horns are cutting through. They're really taking up a lot of space in the mix, but it's great. Cool chopping here. That's my sign for chopping.
Wait.
Ooh, come on. Oh my god. That's fantastic. I mean, I had some complaints about the mixing earlier in the track of the drums feeling a little bit suffocating, but I feel like that just completely left my brain once those horns came in. The horns are fantastic. This last refrain here, just, it's so over the top, but so, I don't know, it's so great about lyrically. So obviously this is post-relationship, describing what this person would be, but she hasn't even met him yet. So maybe it's giving the sense that she's been in so many relationships that she knows what she needs at this point, and maybe she feels confident in that now. I do like how it's tying back to that earlier track as well with the horns. It's also quiet, makes it feel a little bit cohesive. This album's a little bit all over the place for me. I do like some of the ideas here. It just feels a little bit scatterbrained. Let's keep it going. That was enjoyable. Almost like a cave-like atmosphere. I wonder what this tape is.
Nothing will be the same.
If this is what it seems to be about, just literally getting lost in music, I feel like that's a very interesting idea, you know? Something I can relate to, definitely. Something like tons of people can relate to. But I don't know if I've ever heard the topic discussed in a song before, you know? I love the decision to just let this instrumental breathe. So I'm going to take that track really literally. I could read the Genius annotations and stuff like that, which I usually do, but I want to avoid doing that because I like how it makes me feel taking it literally, because it's something I can really relate to pretty heavily, especially this line, my headphones, they saved my life. I've never really talked about this before, but when I started this channel and when I really started getting into music was a pretty tough time in my life. I'm not going to get into details, but so I resonate with that line a lot, and like I said, there could be some deeper meaning to this track, but it feels right to me to just take it at face value. This was a good closer. I'm a little bit confused by this album just off of first reaction. It just feels a little bit scatterbrained and a little bit disjointed in terms of its flow. This is kind of similar to how I felt on Homogenic. Like, I feel like that definitely had a better flow than this album. I feel like this album has a lot of great individual ideas. Some of them are executed better than others, but I feel like overall the flow of the album is a little bit disjointed and a little bit confusing, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, still pretty solid. I mean, it's Björk, so you're still going to get insane levels of creativity. I still don't think anything has reached the level of Vespertine for me in terms of transporting me, and I think the reason that transported me so well was because of the flow of the album. This album, it transported me in certain moments, but then I was kind of taken out of it because of the flow, because it would throw me into something completely different that didn't really follow what I expected the ebbs and the flows to be. But yeah, that's gonna do it. That was Post by Björk. Pretty solid, a little bit disjointed, but some cool ideas here and there. Leave a like if you want, subscribe, go join the Patreon. As always, this is gonna be uncut on there. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.